You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Let's go to Congressman Jim Clyburn. We finally have him back. Congressman?
Yes, sir.
So now the first person impeached twice in history decides to drop a video decrying the violence. Really?
Well, you can't believe anything Trump says. We've been interacting with him now, 4 years? How many times have you heard any real truth out of him? So he feels he's going to say what he thinks he needs to say to keep him in the game. But I do believe that the end result here is going to be banning this man from ever being able to hold office again.
So explain that to our audience. Getting impeached does not disqualify him from running for office. So how does that happen? Doesn't that require another vote? Explain that, please.
Yes. Well, after the vote to impeach, you have to vote to remove him from office, and you can also vote to keep him from ever holding office again. Not just under those procedures. There's a 14th Amendment procedure. I always associate the 14th Amendment, of course, with slavery issues. The 13th freeing slaves, and the 15th giving slaves the right to vote. But the sandwich between them is the most important one, in my opinion, outside of being freed of slavery, and that is what we call due process and equal protection of the law. And there's a little section, I think it's Section 3, that deals with the ability to deny a person from holding the position of honor ever again.
Before we got cut off, you were talking about what it was like to sit there and listen to Republicans act as if this man has done nothing wrong and don't want to hold him accountable. And I just think what this says is that if y'all did not do what you did today, essentially what you would have been saying to any future president, if there's nothing that you can do that would disqualify you from office, that do whatever you want to do, literally lead the nation, take over the U.S. Capitol, and potentially harm, maim, or kill members of Congress, doesn't matter. You can stay in the White House.
That's exactly right. That's why we had to do this. And I've been saying to a lot of my friends who wonder why you're doing this. The man's only got 10 days left in office. Well, the next person just might do it on the first 10 days in office. So what we've got to do is just say to the American people, you are not going to be able to say the kind of things this man said, incite people to riot. Look, what could have happened? One man got killed. Another man the next day killed himself. And then we've got other people who were injured. And so you can't say you just let this man do this, and because it's so late in his term, just let it go. You just can't let things go. You have to keep this democracy together. And the way you do that is demonstrating once and for all that no one person, irrespective of your status, is above the law. That's what we had to do with Richard Nixon, and he had enough sense not to go through the process and get out of town. And that's what we're doing with Donald Trump. But Roland, we did him a favor. He's always been talking about doing things that's never been done before. Never been done. Well, we are doing something for him that's never been done before. And so I think he should be pleased with that.
Congressman Kevin McCarthy, Republican House leader, stood on that floor and talked about unity and what should happen. Congressman, I know y'all call each other the gentleman, the gentle lady, but I'm just being perfectly dishonest with you. I have absolutely no desire to work with any Republican who supports that man who makes these excuses. These people have to be held accountable. You have intimated that this was an inside job, how they were giving directions to your private office. We've had Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley say that the panic buttons in her office were removed. Another member said they were giving tours to folks before. We even have a video of these folks where they live streamed themselves talking about where to attack. They were given information on how to attack the U.S. Capitol. Every single person must be uncovered. And if it means Capitol Police, if it means members of Congress who helped and aided them, they must be held accountable. Damn unity until there is justice.
You're absolutely correct about that. And we're pushing very hard to make sure that these people who are complicit, and all of them are not necessarily part of the police force or something else. We think that several people in Congress aided and abetted this entire episode. They were taking their signals from Trump as well. And we're going to do the investigation. We're going to do a thorough investigation. I've called for a 9/11 type investigation because what I want to see come out of it is not just uncover who did it, but put them in jail and go about doing what is necessary to make sure it doesn't happen again. Now they'll find something else to do down the road. But if we do this the right way, we'd also signal to those voters in these congressional districts that's sending these kind of people up here, that if you want real meaningful representation, you want something to get done for your congressional district, send somebody up here with some good sense, and not somebody that's coming up here to carry out some ideology that's got nothing to do with moving this agenda, the agenda of this country forward.
Last question for you, sir, and that is this here. Y'all have put some metal detectors outside of the chamber, and Republicans are whining about that. Are y'all, and then they ignore the Capitol Police. Are y'all going to sit here and say to the Capitol Police, if a member does not walk through those metal detectors, they cannot walk on the floor? Are y'all going to hold them accountable because they're acting like some spoiled brats when children go through metal detectors every day in schools?
You're right. And just to give us some example of how these people think, one person retorted, well, if they just said we can't carry the guns, well, how do we know whether or not you got a gun if you don't go through this magnetometer? So that's what we're trying to do. So they got such silly juvenile arguments about things. We just got to say everybody is going to be dealt the same way. We do it to go through airports, and so you can do it to come into the House chambers.
Congressman Jim Clyburn, we certainly appreciate it, sir. Thank you so very much for your service. What y'all did today was important not only for Americans today, but also for American history, for letting any president in the future know you simply are not a king. You can be held accountable when you lead a revolt against this country.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I know how tough it is for you to congratulate an Omega, but that's all right.
Well, you know, again, Alphas trained y'all well. Congressman Jim Clyburn, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Okay,
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have that you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.